How does a young woman vanish from a crowded shopping mall in broad daylight and no one sees a thing? Dru Sjodin was a 22-year-old college student full of energy and kindness, walking to her car on a quiet November evening. She was talking to her boyfriend on the phone, and then, without warning, she was gone. No goodbye, no screams, just silence. What happened next would shock the entire country. Why was a dangerous man with a history of violent crimes free to walk the streets again? And how could a system fail so badly that it cost an innocent woman her life? As investigators followed the trail, the truth became more disturbing than anyone expected. This isn't just a story about loss, it's about a broken system, a desperate search, and a family that refused to give up. Who was Dru Sjodin? Dru Katrina Sjodin was born on September 26, 1981, in Tilden, Minnesota. She was a senior at the University of North Dakota, majoring in graphic design and working part-time at Victoria's Secret. Dru was known for her joyful spirit, infectious laugh, and strong work ethic. She loved music, art, and spending time with friends and family. Originally from Pequot Lakes, Minnesota, Dru had moved to Grand Forks for college. She lived with roommates, kept a busy schedule, and was planning a future in design after graduation. Friends described her as cheerful and ambitious, always quick to help others. Her life seemed full of promise. But everything changed on November 22, 2003, a date her family and the entire nation would never forget. The day Dru disappeared, it was the Saturday before Thanksgiving. Dru finished her shift at Victoria's Secret around 4 p.m. and drove to Columbia Mall in Grand Forks to do some shopping. She called her boyfriend around 5 p.m., chatting casually as she walked to her car, but suddenly the call went silent. Dru never made it home. When her roommates realized she hadn't returned that night, they quickly contacted the police. Her car was found in the mall parking lot, unlocked, with her purse still inside. There were no signs of a struggle, but it was clear something had gone terribly wrong. Within hours, authorities launched a massive search. The case quickly drew statewide and eventually national attention. As days passed without answers, fear and panic spread through the community. Who had taken Dru Sjodin and where was she? The investigation and shocking discovery. As investigators searched for clues, they found surveillance footage showing Dru walking to her car, but also a suspicious figure nearby. That man was identified as Alfonso Rodriguez Jr., a 50-year-old convicted sex offender who had recently been released from prison after serving 23 years. Rodriguez was arrested on December 1, 2003, less than 2 weeks after Dru's disappearance. He had been in the mall area the same day and was found with a knife matching one bought at a local store where he was seen earlier. He also had scratches on his hands and back, raising more suspicions. Despite his arrest, Dru's body was still missing. For over 5 months, her family endured the agony of not knowing. Finally, on April 17, 2004, Dru's remains were found in a ravine near Crookston, Minnesota, about 30 miles from where she was abducted. She had been sexually assaulted, beaten, and left to die in the cold. The trial of Alfonso Rodriguez Jr. In August 2006, the trial of Alfonso Rodriguez Jr. began in federal court because Dru Sjodin had been kidnapped across state lines. What followed wasn't just a trial, it was a haunting journey through one of the most disturbing crimes in recent memory. Prosecutors didn't just accuse Rodriguez, they laid out a clear, chilling timeline. He spotted Dru at the mall, waited for his chance, then forced her into his car, assaulted her, and left her to die in the cold. It wasn't random. It was calculated. It was evil. The courtroom was filled with painful evidence. DNA linked Rodriguez directly to Dru's body. Tire impressions from his car matched tracks near where her remains were found. Forensic materials, hair, fibers, blood, all told the same story. Even more disturbing was his past. Rodriguez had previously attacked women and had only recently been released from prison. His confession to police sealed the case, but for many, the biggest question was why someone so dangerous had ever been free again. On August 30, 2006, the jury delivered its verdict. Guilty of kidnapping resulting in death. The judge sentenced Rodriguez to death, the first federal death sentence in North Dakota in over 100 years. For Dru's family, it was a moment of justice, but not of healing. Nothing could bring her back. Nothing could erase the suffering. But at least the man who took her life would never hurt anyone else again. Public reaction and legal impact. The horror of Dru's murder sparked national outrage not only for the crime itself, but for the fact that a dangerous sex offender had been free to strike again. Public demand for change was swift. Her case became the driving force behind Dru's Law, part of the Adam Walsh Child Protection and Safety Act. Dru's Law created the National Sex Offender Public Registry, allowing people to search online for registered offenders in their area. It also strengthened monitoring and registration requirements, aiming to prevent repeat offenses by known predators. Families across the country rallied behind the cause. Dru's name became a symbol of protection, awareness, and accountability. Her story forever changed how the justice system tracks and manages sex offenders, and how the public stays informed. The strength of Dru's family. Through every moment of heartbreak, Dru's family showed incredible strength. Her parents, Linda Walker and Alan Sjodin, became vocal advocates for change. They shared her story on national platforms, spoke to lawmakers, and supported other families facing similar nightmares. Linda Walker often said she wanted Dru's death to mean something, to protect others from the same fate. The family's push for tougher laws helped transform grief into action, ensuring Dru's voice continued to echo even in her absence. Their courage, even in the darkest times, inspired communities around the world. The Sjodin family turned personal tragedy into national purpose, reminding everyone of the power of love, justice, and never giving up. Dru's legacy. Dru Sjodin's name lives on, not just as a memory, but as a symbol of change. Her tragic death forced the nation to face a hard truth. The system meant to protect people from violent offenders was broken. In response, her case became the driving force behind Dru's Law, which later became part of the Adam Walsh Child Protection and Safety Act. This law created a national online sex offender registry, helping families across America identify and monitor known predators in their communities. What happened to Dru led to real reform that is still saving lives today. Her story is now shared on college campuses, safety workshops, and public forums, not just to honor her, but to warn others. Students learn her story as a powerful reminder of how quickly danger can strike and how vital awareness and safety planning are. Every year, events and fundraisers are held in Dru's name, keeping her memory alive and her message strong. Her bright personality, once dimmed by violence, now shines as a protective light for others. Dru was not just a victim. She was a loving daughter, a cherished friend, a promising artist, and someone who brought light to every room she entered. Even in death, she became a force for good, touching laws, lives, and hearts across the country. Her legacy proves that even in the darkest moments, a powerful voice can rise and change the world for the better. The heartbreaking case of Dru Sjodin shows how one tragic moment can echo across an entire nation. It exposed a broken system, ignited powerful reforms, and reminded us how fragile life can be. But it also showed us what love, resilience, and justice can accomplish, even in the face of evil. Dru's story is not just about loss, it's about change, courage, and a legacy that lives on. If her story moved you, share it, speak her name, and always remember, sometimes the most powerful voice is the one that refuses to be silenced.